Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Rea, the Assistant Director in charge of our New York field office. These arrests represent yet another example of the FBI's commitment to crushing the violent transnational gangs plaguing our communities.
When New York police identified a mysterious woman allegedly connected to Alino's cartel empire, the FBI and DHS moved without hesitation. What unfolded next revealed a web of hidden CJNG networks buried deep within America's largest city, and a twist that blurred the boundaries between fact, rumor, and national security. As federal agents raced to uncover the truth, their investigation led them to an even bigger discovery. Alino's own family may have set foot in New York. New York City has quietly become the newest battleground in the United States' escalating fight against the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, the criminal powerhouse led by Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, the man the DEA calls the world's most dangerous drug lord. His influence stretches from Mexico's mountainous heartland to the boroughs of New York, forcing federal agencies like the FBI and DHS to coordinate their efforts in tracking the cartel's expanding footprint across the Northeast. When reports surfaced that one of Alino's daughters had been spotted in the city, federal task forces sounded the alarm. The concern wasn't just whether the sighting was genuine, it was what the presence of a family member might signal about CJNG's reach inside U.S. borders. Alino, a former police officer turned fugitive, commands CJNG with the precision of a military strategist. Under his leadership, the cartel has grown into Mexico's most feared criminal syndicate, capable of producing fentanyl on an industrial scale and distributing it nationwide through U.S. trafficking hubs from California to the East Coast. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, CJNG's rapid expansion has made it one of the country's most significant transnational threats, linked to countless overdose deaths and violent cross-border operations. Alino's dominance is reinforced by family loyalty. His children Ruben Oseguera Gonzalez, El Menchito, Jessica Johanna Oseguera Gonzalez, La Negra, and Leisha Michelle Oseguera Gonzalez form a network of influence stretching across continents. Ruben, once considered CJNG's operational second-in-command, was extradited to the United States and sentenced to life in prison in March 2025. Jessica, a U.S. citizen born in California, was arrested in Washington, D.C. in 2020 for violating the Kingpin Act after federal investigators linked her to financial dealings with cartel-associated businesses. Her case drew national attention as prosecutors detailed how she allegedly funneled millions through front companies, including a tequila brand and a luxury sushi restaurant, used to support CJNG operations. She pleaded guilty in 2021 and received a 2.5-year sentence, later earning early release in 2022 under a COVID-era provision for non-violent offenders. Outlets like Vice and NBC News covered her release extensively, noting her decision to keep a low profile afterward. Despite these documented events, 2025 brought a new wave of rumors claiming another one of Alino's daughters had been arrested. The speculation spread quickly across social media, gossip sites, and tabloid headlines, fueled in part by reports of FBI activity in Queens. Yet official records and press briefings show no confirmation of any such arrest. What has been confirmed, however, is a growing surge of law enforcement operations across New York aimed at dismantling cartel-linked networks. Federal attention has zeroed in on the trafficking pipelines running through New York City's boroughs, particularly Queens, long viewed by authorities as a corridor for international smuggling, money laundering, and street-level drug distribution. According to joint statements from DHS and the FBI, transnational cartels often work through local gangs to maintain control at the neighborhood level. This was highlighted in the June 16, 2025 press conference where federal officials announced the takedown of a violent gang in Jackson Heights, Queens, an organization indirectly tied to broader trafficking routes. The operation, led by the FBI's New York Field Office, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, and the Queens District Attorney, underscored New York City's growing importance as a frontline in America's ongoing battle against cartel influence.
Here today to announce the arrests and the racketeering indictment of 8 members and associates of the violent 18th Street Gang.
U.S. Attorney Joan O'Sullivan characterized the case as a significant strike against a gang that had long dominated or attempted to dominate a section of Roosevelt Avenue in Jackson Heights, Queens through persistent violence and intimidation. The indictment charged 8 members with racketeering, narcotics trafficking, and firearms offenses, but the timing of the press conference created confusion online, coinciding with viral speculation that the arrests were linked to an alleged sighting of a woman connected to CJNG in New York. Despite the rapid spread of these claims, neither the FBI nor DHS has provided any confirmation that a member of Alino's family was involved. Assistant Director Christopher Rea stressed that the arrests were part of a broader national strategy targeting transnational criminal networks, noting that many local gangs function as logistical extensions of foreign cartels. His comments underscored the scale of the FBI's Metro Safe Streets Task Force, which operates alongside HSI and the U.S. Attorney's Office under multi-agency initiatives such as Operation Take Back America and various Homeland Security task forces. These programs were strengthened in 2025 under Executive Order 157, which formally designated cartels like CJNG as foreign terrorist organizations FTOs, a move that enabled federal agencies to deploy counterterrorism-level resources against narcotics operations. The timing was not accidental. Internal reporting, summarized in the DOJ's public database and highlighted by analyses in the Courier Journal, indicates that CJNG has been steadily pushing into the East Coast by embedding its distribution networks within established local criminal groups. The cartel structure operates like a multinational logistics chain with specialized cells responsible for production, smuggling, distribution, and money laundering. According to the FBI's New York field office, these embedded networks are increasingly difficult to distinguish from long-standing urban gangs.
We simply cannot do this alone. We will continue getting drugs and weapons off our streets, putting violent criminal offenders behind bars, and delivering justice to our communities that need it.
Throughout 2024 and 2025, federal task forces across New York carried out a series of major raids targeting distribution networks tied to cartel supply chains stretching from California and Mexico. In June 2025, one operation resulted in 13 arrests and the seizure of more than 250 kilograms of cocaine and fentanyl, substances that intelligence analysts linked to CJNG intermediaries. Earlier that year, a February 2025 joint investigation prosecuted by the Southern District of New York charged 28 members of the Sinaloa cartel, including Los Chapitos, sons of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, with fentanyl trafficking and money laundering across the city. Although these particular cases involved Sinaloa rather than CJNG, federal officials emphasized how both cartels rely on overlapping logistics routes that move narcotics through ports, airports, and commercial corridors in Queens, the Bronx, and beyond. In effect, New York has become a proxy battlefield for a cartel rivalry that originated thousands of miles away. Intelligence assessments from the DEA and FBI describe CJNG and the Sinaloa cartel as dual hegemons, each controlling vast portions of Mexico's territory and international export routes. By 2025, CJNG had established footholds in southern states such as Chiapas and Zacatecas while expanding its influence northward into U.S. financial hubs. Reporting from Borderland Beat further details CJNG's sophisticated financial operations, which rely on real estate fronts and shell corporations, some of which have been linked to New York-based accounts. This broader context has fueled public speculation that any appearance of Alino's family inside the United States could signal a major operational shift. Verified records, however, tell a different story. As of November 2025, U.S. Department of Justice databases show no active warrants or arrests for Jessica Johanna or Alicia Michelle Oseguera Gonzalez. Meanwhile, Mexican court filings from early 2025 reveal that Alicia, Alino's younger daughter, secured an amparo, a legal protection preventing her arrest in Mexico, despite allegations connecting her to the 2021 kidnapping of two Marines. Her partner, Christian Eduardo Gutierrez Ochoa, who faked his own death before resurfacing in Riverside, California, was captured and later pleaded guilty to money laundering in June 2025. But Alicia herself remains legally protected and unapprehended. Reports from Mexico News Daily and Ours Abroad confirm that she has not been arrested. So when rumors spread online claiming DHS had detained El Mencho's daughter in New York, investigators and journalists quickly discovered there was no supporting evidence. The FBI's New York field office made no reference to such a case in its June, August, or October releases, and DHS's HSI division confirmed that no arrests matched her identity or description. Much of the confusion may have emerged from unrelated gang crackdowns in Queens, such as the 18th Street gang operation, which involved female suspects of Latin American descent but had no connection to CJNG. A statement from Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz, declaring that nobody owns the streets of New York, was widely circulated online and mistakenly tied to a supposed cartel-linked arrest. In reality, Katz was referring to the gang's control over Roosevelt Avenue, not a cartel investigation. The timing of her remarks, combined with images of joint FBI and DHS raids, helped fuel the misinformation cycle. To understand why these rumors gained such momentum, one must consider CJNG's global reputation. Operating in more than 50 countries, the cartel has become synonymous with the trafficking of fentanyl into the United States and Europe. Its leader, El Mencho, remains a fugitive and is the subject of a $15 million U.S. bounty. Reports compiled by Wikipedia and corroborated through DOJ briefings suggest he is likely hiding in the mountains of Michoacán or Jalisco, protected by armed loyalists and supported by an illicit medical network. Despite years of manhunts and conflicting claims about his condition, neither the Mexican nor U.S. government has confirmed his capture. In this context, whether El Mencho's daughter was truly spotted in New York is less important than what her rumored presence represents, a symbol of the cartel's shadow, its reach, and the fear that its influence could extend into the heart of America's largest city. It represents the new reality of organized crime, one in which borders blur, syndicates operate like global corporations, and family dynasties move assets and influence across continents with executive precision. As the first part of this exposé makes clear, what unfolded in Queens was not the arrest of a narco queen. It was the continuation of a sweeping federal campaign by the FBI and DHS to reclaim American streets from foreign criminal networks, one coordinated raid at a time. The FBI-DHS operation that exposed cartel networks hidden in plain sight by mid-2025. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security had expanded a joint operational framework aimed at confronting what senior intelligence officials now
had specific designated areas where they maintained their counterfeiting equipment and the personnel who actually engaged in the physical actions of counterfeiting documents, demonstrating a level of organization and sophistication that would allow them to perpetrate their crimes.